And then also to continue on with the theme of just like season, the season ending. What about player and manager of the season?
Steve, why don't you start, man?
Oh man, I haven't thought about that yet. I was hoping to ask, then I'd answer last.
Right, I'll take it. I'll take it. My player of the season, Kevin De Bruyne.
The travesty, he didn't win player of the season over. I don't want to
I
go.
can't believe it. Like
That's yeah.
Yeah,
Henderson and De Bruyne are like worlds apart. I know Henderson's a great leader, but in terms of football ability, there's no challenge. So De Bruyne is my player of the season. I just think he's great. And my manager of the season is Frank Lampard. I just think, he gave the youth a shot. He came in only with Derby County on his back. I would say Jurgen Klopp. He's done fantastic at Liverpool. But Klopp was at Dortmund.
yeah,
Another really great team. And he's come to Liverpool. He's made changes. So Klopp, fantastic. But just personally for how they've changed the team, I just love the fact that Frank has given his youth a go and that they've stepped up for him. And I think fantastic manager. He's making the right calls. He's bringing in Ziyech, Werner, probably Havertz. So players want to play for Lampard. And not just players, top, elite level, best in the world players want to play for Lampard. So I think the fact that he's done that in a season is just, it speaks for itself.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think for me, the player of the season is Kevin De Bruyne. It's a travesty he didn't win it, I think, and by far he's been the best player in my mind. For the manager, I love what Klopp has done with this team, and to win the Premier League in record-breaking time. As much as I love what Frank has done and with Chelsea, I have to give my manager of the season to Klopp. I think he's just been fantastic, and he's just a lovable guy. I don't know anyone that hates Klopp. I just don't. And he's for me best manager. And I'm so excited to see what's going to happen next year with the spending that they're not doing and how he's going to mold the team and keep it a contender. So I'm excited. I look forward to him.
Yeah. So I actually don't like Klopp as much. I think the media laps up his attitude, but then he's a bit hypocritical and stuff that he says and how he acts. But I would still agree with you as manager of the season. He's we talked about, I think, the first episode where it's they didn't get to 100 points. Does that take anything away from? No. It's they won in record time. And you looked last season they were so close with, accomplishments in this year but they've been so close with a lot of things, and they finally got it with Klopp. And he's continued he's raised the bar for just the team for Liverpool and has maintained them there for the last few years. And then also with this season, just this, almost they kind of reached the top of where they want to be, essentially just winning it in record time. They were unbeaten run at Anfield. They've only dropped points once at Anfield in, I don't know how many games it is, but they've only dropped points once in the longest time, which is that's unreal. So pretty much a guaranteed home win every time they play at Anfield. So I'd have to say Klopp, manager of the season. I also shout out to Frank Lampard, though. Like I said, came from Derby County, came to Chelsea, makeshift team. Honestly, we talked about that. We've talked about the defense for a while. That defense has not really been the best. And then you look at the strikers they have. Batshuayi is just useless. Abraham started kind of well, just fell off. Then you have Giroud, which I love Giroud. He's more of a hold-up player, not actually, I'm not going to say anything bad about Giroud. Giroud is a top striker. I think people don't appreciate his game. But, you look at had trouble up top. It definitely helped that they were able to bring in Pulisic. But, it's a bit of a makeshift team. You've had to depend on young players like Reece James, Mason Mount. So he has had to bring in players like that and trust them. And also, it's not just the players, it's also coaching too, to give proper instruction, give proper tactical information, hey, this is what we're going to do, and make sure that they follow through. So definitely shout out to Frank Lampard. That's wild. First season in the Premier League with a makeshift team finishing fourth. That's an accomplishment in itself. But I think just what Klopp has done with Liverpool is definitely, you got to respect that too. Player of the season, though, definitely Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, I sent you guys that stat of his goal contributions for the season, just absolutely ridiculous. And then with his goal contributions, he was at it was either a goal or an assist every game. Just if you averaged it out per like his goals or an assist per minute, it was one goal or assist per 90 minutes. So that's a great so he's guaranteed to either score. He's either guaranteed to score or guaranteed to assist a goal every single game. Nobody else. Yeah, and that's over the whole. I mean, granted, he didn't play every game in the whole season. He was injured for a bit, but still, though, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
But that's the crazy part that he did not win the player of the season. Like, how can you justify giving it to Henderson? I cannot. I really can't figure it out. You know, I know Liverpool did a great job, but when City won it the last couple of years ago, you know, you gave the player of the year to Salah. I think it was. So it's just, for me, it's hard to justify how Henderson can win Premier League player of the season over Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
It makes me not respect the freaking choice too much, I'll be honest. Some shady stuff happening.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, they should have asked us for our opinions. We would have told it to them straight.
Kevin De Bruyne, absolutely. And I'm really curious, to see what the poll is out there. We should create one, Tom.
I mean, I'm sure the Ballon d'Or ratings, players know game. Jordan Henderson will not be in the Ballon d'Or rating.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know who is? Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
That speaks volume there when you get your peers voting for you. And from a footballer to say you're the best player in the world and Lewandowski and De Bruyne, it's not Lewandowski and Henderson.
No.
And, a little bit of favoritism again towards Liverpool, not to take away what they did this season and last season. Champions League and the Premier League, fantastic. Well done to them. I like Klopp, I like their players, but like Brato said, it's just they're not in the same league, Henderson and Kevin De Bruyne.
No. Yeah, it's so the thing is, I appreciate players like Henderson. I will say that before I start the trash talk, because some players are just they're not the flashy player. They're not crazy assists, crazy goals, but they're that cement, that glue that keeps the team together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, it's De Bruyne and Henderson. Come on, man.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Open your eyes. They're in two different worlds, man.
I'll agree with you, Steve. I like players that get stuck in for the team, and Henderson definitely does that.
Oh yeah.
They play the ugly side of the game.
Well, even their stats, even if you're looking at their stats, I'll look at Henderson's, but De Bruyne has so much more impact on City's outcome of the game than Henderson does. I think that it's just, it's not a question at this point.
Definitely agree with that too.